Today's story is: I overheard my surgeon talking about my wife during my vasectomy. What I heard left me frozen. Learn English through story. Fearful face, broken heart fire. Welcome to Ever Revenge, painful stories, where love ends and revenge begins. Collision. We're so close to 1K subscribers. Thank you for your amazing support, it truly means a lot. Folded hands. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And make sure to watch the full video till the end, because today's story is filled with emotions you'll never forget. Now, let's dive into this dark and emotional journey of love and revenge. The sterile hum of the fluorescent lights buzzed like a distant swarm of angry bees as I lay on the cold operating table, my legs splayed in stirrups, the paper gown crinkling beneath me. Mark Thompson, 38, husband, father of 2, reduced to this vulnerable sprawl for a vasectomy. Sarah and I had decided it together, over candlelit wine one autumn evening, her fingers tracing my knuckles as she whispered, "We're perfect as we are, love. No more chaos, just us." Her green eyes had sparkled then, full of the promise that had glued our 10-year marriage together through sleepless nights and scraped knees. Now, with local anesthesia numbing the sharpest edges of dread, I stared at the ceiling tiles, counting the pockmarks to steady my breath. Dr. Ellis, the surgeon, a silver fox type in his 50s with a voice like velvet over gravel, leaned in, his gloved hands steady as he prepped the incision. "Relax, Mr. Thompson," he murmured, his breath cool against my thigh. "You'll be out of here in 20, back to the wife by lunch." The nurse, a young woman with a ponytail swinging like a metronome, chuckled softly as she adjusted the 4-drip. I closed my eyes, picturing Sarah waiting in the lobby, scrolling through baby photos on her phone, oblivious to the scalpel about to rewrite our future. The first cut was a dull tug, like fabric ripping under strain. I gritted my teeth, focusing on the radio murmuring pop tunes in the corner. But then voices drifted low, unguarded, as if the mask of professionalism had slipped in the haze of routine. "God, that Thompson woman," Dr. Ellis said, his tone shifting to something intimate, hungry. The scalpel paused, a feather-light pressure. "Sarah, curves like a goddamn Ferrari. Last week in the on-call room, couldn't keep her hands off me. Said her husband's been distant, buried in work. Begged for it rough, you know. Left marks that'll bruise for days." The nurse's laugh was a sharp bark, conspiratorial. "You dog. She's married to this guy. Right here." Ellis snorted, resuming the snip with casual precision. "Yeah, irony's a bitch. But hell, she's fire. Whispered she's done with the soccer dad routine. Wants someone who can handle her fire. Next time I'm tying her up, make it last." My world imploded in that suspended heartbeat. Frozen not from the anesthesia, but from the ice cracking beneath my soul. Sarah, my Sarah, who'd cried in my arms after our miscarriage, who'd danced barefoot in the kitchen to old Elvis records, her laughter bubbling like champagne, begging for another man's touch. The room spun, the ceiling tiles blurring into a vortex of betrayal. I wanted to roar, to lunge, but my body betrayed me, pinned by invisible restraints of shock and vulnerability. A tear escaped, hot and traitorous, tracing down my temple. Ellis didn't notice. He was too busy sealing the wound, stitching my manhood shut while unraveling my heart. The procedure ended in a blur. "All set," Ellis said, patting my knee like a golf buddy. "No heavy lifting for a week. Tell Sarah I said hi." His wink was a dagger. I nodded mutely, dressing in the recovery room with hands that trembled like autumn leaves. Sarah drove me home, her hand on my thigh. Innocent now, poisoned. "You okay, babe? Look pale." I forced a smile, the lie bitter on my tongue. "Just the drugs." That night, as she slept curled against me, her breath soft on my neck, I slipped from bed. The house was a tomb of memories. Crayon drawings on the fridge, our wedding photo on the mantel, her perfume lingering like a ghost. Heart pounding, I scrolled her phone. Unlocked, trusting. Texts to E burned my eyes. "Miss your hands. Tonight. Hubby's out late." Photos explicit, timestamps from our date nights. The pain was visceral, a hollowing ache that stole my breath, leaving me gasping on the bathroom floor, fists clenched until knuckles whitened. Rage simmered, then forged into steel. Revenge wasn't violence. It was justice, cold and unyielding. I hired a PI the next morning, a grizzled ex-cop named Ray who nodded grimly over coffee. "We'll get you proof, Mark. Clean." Weeks blurred. Stakeouts revealing Ellis's Porsche idling outside our suburban idol, Sarah slipping into his luxury condo, her laughter echoing like shards of glass. Audio recordings captured her moans, his boasts. "She's mine now, Thompson's just the fool paying alimony." The climax brewed in shadows. I compiled it all, videos, texts, even Ellis's hospital emails boasting of conquests to colleagues, breaching ethics. But the real blade. I scheduled a follow-up with Ellis, arriving early, planting a recorder in the exam room. As he entered, stethoscope dangling, I faced him, voice steady as granite. "Doc, about Sarah. Heard you two are close." His face drained of color, eyes darting like cornered prey. "What, Mark? I don't." I played the tape, his own words slithering out. "Begged for it rough." He crumpled into his chair, sputtering denials that dissolved into pleas. "It was nothing." He came to me. "Please, my practice." "Save it," I said, voice cracking with the weight of shattered vows. "You cut me open twice, once with steel, once with truth. Now I return the favor." I walked out, dossier in hand, straight to the hospital board and Sarah's family. The fallout was biblical. Ellis suspended, facing license revocation for misconduct. Headlines screaming surgeon's scandal. Sarah. She arrived home that evening, tear-streaked, begging on our porch as rain lashed like judgment. "Mark, it was a mistake. I was lost. Please, the kids." I stood in the doorway, our son's toy truck at my feet, heart a ruin of love's ashes. "Lost. You carved us out like a tumor. Take your things. The papers come tomorrow." Her sobs echoed as she packed, the life we built dissolving in garbage bags. Divorce was swift, custody shared but poisoned. Her parents, horrified, cut her off. Months later I stood in a sun-dappled park, our kids giggling around me, a new spark in my chest. Tentative dates, therapy's bomb. Ellis. A shadow, practicing in obscurity. Sarah. Last I heard, waitressing, eyes hollow. Justice wasn't joy. It was the quiet exhale after the storm, the knowledge that betrayal's blade cuts both ways. I'd been frozen once. Now I walked free, scars a map to strength. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Broken Heart Fire. Your full watch and support help our stories reach more hearts. If you felt this story deeply, please hit the subscribe button. And stay connected with Ever Revenge Painful Stories. More emotional tales of love, pain, and revenge are coming soon. Until next time, remember, sometimes love doesn't end. It transforms into revenge.